All right.
There it
I
is.
think we're going. Hi, everybody. I'm Andy Larson, and I transform my own life with superior nutrition. And I'm here today with Ray Martin. Hi, Ray.
How you doing, Andy?
Doing great. You?
Good, doing wonderful.
Good. So we met on Facebook, and I was impressed by your remarkable health transformation. And I was looking at all your good posts about all the good food you were eating,
Yeah.
and I just we talked on the phone last weekend and just kind of clicked, and we have a lot in common, and I just thought your story was really cool, and it's one that I think a lot of people can benefit from.
Well,
So,
I appreciate the good word, Andy. I've met a lot of good people through my time on Facebook, and obviously since the heart attack and surgery and the change in my life, as
mhm.
far as as you said, the superior nutrition, and it's been good. And I've met a lot of great people, and it's been a pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, definitely. So, whole food plant based.
Yes, sir. It it really started months before my heart attack when my son came to a camping trip we'd had planned before he started his last year in nursing school. And as I unloaded all the typical things that guys would eat at a camping trip from my vehicle, he began to unload a rice cooker, bags of rice and beans. I think he had a case of bananas and fruit, and I'm thinking, oh, they've turned him into a vegan at college, you know. What he did was explain that he was just a poor college student and had researched the healthiest way to eat on the smallest amount of investment of money, and
Mhm.
found this guy named John McDougall. And we talked about it off and on through the 5 days. And on the way home, I thought, I was pushing 240 or more at the time. You know, when you get that far out of weight, you quit weighing yourself. It's
Mhm.
just embarrassing. And so I got off Cokes and kind of looked at a little bit of what my son had told me about beans and rice and potatoes. And then come, let's see, October 1st, a few months later, I had I guess, the first of many heart attacks. And went to the doctor. They said, we're going to do stents in the morning. And I said, oh, okay. And, and signed the papers. And they got me in there just a few minutes into that. They said, oh, send him back. We can't do it. He's 90 something percent blocked. So went back in and they said, okay, now Monday, unless something goes wrong, we're going to do a bypass. It could be as much as quadruple or maybe more. And so be a good boy. And I did. And, everything seemed to turn out pretty well. And just after noon on Monday, I guess I just went to sleep and I had a triple bypass. And it was only 4 days later they sent me home, and I began to look at this guy named John McDougall real close. Watched an awful lot of his videos, and from that moment on, it was whole food plant based. And it wasn't long after that that I began to take that brand new bottle that I would spray olive oil on the pans with, as I made my stir fry. I took
Mhm.
that and set it aside, and I quit using the olive oil too. Whole food, plant based, no oil. So
Yep.
been it's been since the 9th of October that it's been official, because that's the day I came home and happened to be my wedding anniversary also. So
Okay.
yeah, so
Is your wedding anniversary October 9th?
October 9th, yeah.
So is mine. Isn't that crazy?
Well,
What a
I
coincidence. Sometimes there's, I don't know. It's interesting how you run into people sometimes. I'm not really superstitious, but I don't know. I just think that's kind of interesting.
yeah, we'll call it destiny maybe.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
October 9th. Yeah, so it's been incredible. At that time, I was driving a lot, and there was the opportunity to listen to books on digital programs that I could listen to through my hearing aids, and I began to devour. uh, things about nutrition, record videos, off of the YouTube place and listen to those.
Hmm.
And soon after I started doing that, I got a hold of the book How Not to Die. And after I heard the introduction, I was a great fan of Dr. Michael Greger and the
Hmm.
story about his grandmother because she had had also so many bypasses. They told her to go home and die because there was no more veins left to harvest. And they had to open my legs in 4 places to find enough veins to do a triple bypass. I wonder at that time, if they had needed more, would they have found them? I don't know. I was really ignorant of the whole process. And the more I've learned about all of that and the nutrition, um, some of it's just been really exciting, rewarding, beneficial to me. Some of it's kind of made me angry too because I went through the whole thing. I was just ignorant of what was happening. And then when I ask, what do I do to keep this from happening again? They say, oh, we don't know what causes heart problems. It hereditary. The space aliens. I don't know. Just just be what do they call it? Do all things in moderation. Instead of eating 4 pieces of bacon, why don't you just eat two? It'll be good. That still kind of gets me upset, but we're going to try and keep it positive today.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I fired my cardiologist 3 months after the surgery. Actually, 4 months. I fired him, and a few weeks later, I do not advise people to do this. Okay, talk to the medical professional. I'm not. Um, I weaned myself off of all of my medication, and since March of 2016, I don't even take a baby aspirin. My food is my medicine, and my medicine is my food.
That is so great.
There you go. Lost 82 pounds, man,
Woo.
which was a side effect because my main objective is to be healthy. And as Dr. Caldwell B. Esselstyn says, heart disease is a paper dragon. It shouldn't even really exist. But if it does, it should never progress. And I believe, according to what he has taught and proven so well, it can be reversed. And so that's my goal. That's kind of a
Fantastic.
nutshell, man. It's
That's
been exciting.
awesome.
Andy, yesterday I discovered spaghetti squash. I know everybody's going to laugh at me about that, but uh,
No.
it's just the most amazing food I've eaten. It's
Yeah.
it's been so much fun, and it's just almost every day. I think, what else can happen? And yesterday it was spaghetti squash. I, I'm gonna buy that from now on. I'm gonna grow it next year if possible. So
Excellent.
yeah.
I haven't been eating it that long, just a few years. I didn't know anything about spaghetti squash even maybe 5 years ago, you
Oh,
know?
I had no idea. There's lots of, what is it they say? There's over 20,000 edible vegetables or fruits in this world. You know, that's a lot of
Sounds
stuff.
right. I don't know. I haven't heard that, but I'd believe it. There might even be more.
Oh, there's got to be. It's
There's
crazy.
always something new. It's kind of exciting. I'm always discovering new things too.
Yeah.
Almost every week, you hear about something
Oh,
new.
I know. And you hear of a recipe and you give it a try, and it's just like incredible. Uh,
Yeah.
when you get off of the salt and the sugar addiction, that, I guess as infants, days out of delivery, we begin to be addicted to those things that really mess us up for the rest of our lives. When you gain the wonderful taste of what our tongues were meant and our senses were meant to enjoy and be
Right.
attracted to, um, it's that's a whole new adventure in itself. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Forever and ever, we would take and prepare a head of broccoli, cut off the little florets, and put those in the salad or whatever, and throw the rest of it away. And one day I thought, yeah, it's a waste. So I started taking a bite or two. And this was after I had recovered from the salt and the sugar addiction. Uh, and now my wife, when she prepares the broccoli, she takes that big old stem tree trunk thing and give that to me, and I'll slice it up real thin and use it like it's almost like eating potato chips. They're just really tasty. I know that the Esselstyns, when they show their videos of how to prepare kale, in which kale has become one of my favorite things to eat. I prefer the dinosaur kale.
Oh,
Yeah, because of the texture, but I eat a ton of it every day.
yeah.
And the stalk that they say, now you cut this stalk out, you throw it away. No, I don't.
You eat the whole thing.
I ate the whole thing. Yeah. I
Great.
it's fiber, Andy. It's fiber. You know, you got to get your fiber.
That's true. Yep.
So
Don't
it's
need
a
to
biggie.
waste it.
Yeah, I don't. I paid money for that, doggone it. I'm not going to throw it in the the compost pile. Yeah.
That's great. Good for you. So, tell me about what you were eating before. Um, so what year was the heart attack?
The
The
heart
triple
attack.
bypass?
Yeah, the heart attack occurred October 1st, 2015.
Okay.
It was. I guess I'm horrible at math, but I guess I was like 60, 59, 60, somewhere in there. I was born 55. Y'all do the math. I played football in high school. I didn't need math anyway.
Okay.
But yeah, October 1st, 2015. Um, I just suffered through it till the next morning and went to work. I was working for a car parts Napa store out of Lubbock, Texas. And
Hmm.
my cousin and I picked up battery cores all morning, put them in the back of the pickup, brought them back
Hmm.
to the warehouse, loaded them on pallets, went to eat lunch. I drove about 100 miles that afternoon making deliveries. And then when I got home about 4 o'clock, I laid down in the chair and I thought, I'm going to take a nap till my wife comes home. And then I think I'm going to do what she wanted me to do last night. Let's go to the doctor. So she got home and she said, I cannot believe you didn't go to the doctor. I said, we can go now and you're driving. So
Yeah.
we drove about 35 miles and the people in the 24-hour clinic said, you need to leave or get in an ambulance and go to the ER right now. We think you're having a heart attack.
Yeah.
I ate a rotten plum last night. I've got indigestion.
Yeah.
So we went to the ER and they put me right in front of a lot of waiting people. And a few minutes later, they said, we need you to put on this gown and we're going to take you to talk to a doctor who came in. And she said, um, the blood test shows you've been having heart attacks, possible multiple heart attacks, and we're going to do the stents in the morning. I said, hey, I didn't come in here for a heart attack. I came in here for some high powered indigestion medicine. And she said, did you come here to get treated or did you come in here to be funny? So I shut up, did everything they told me to do till I went home on the ninth. And I must have signed some consent forms, but I was not totally informed. If I was
Yeah.
informed, I didn't listen. And as Dr. Greger has mentioned, no, we won't get into that. We're going to keep this positive. Okay.
Yeah.
Positive. So anyway, yeah, it was
I
October
know. And
1st.
I know what you mean, Ray. I have some things that I'm bitter about a little bit from just kind of how I was sort of misled as to what to eat and just didn't
Yeah.
get really the help I should have gotten from doctors and things like that too. So I think there's, you know, I see what you're saying. On
Yeah.
that.
The doctors, I just saw a report on some research done by the dairy industry about how good dairy is for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, part of that report was that the practice of the medical profession in the days that you and I are living, a lot of those doctors are using information that's 20 years old because they got their diploma, their degree, and everything else, and now they don't have
Hmm.
to go back and study. And I can understand that because we all live some very high stress and exhausting lives. And
Hmm.
doctors, oh my gosh, I couldn't imagine what they go through. But yeah, we're dealing with people who are giving out that information they gave you as well as I that is at least 20 years old. And I remember I've seen the videos of the doctors sitting there with their camel saying, smoke a camel, it's good for your throat, and be sure that they're
Right.
fresh. So buy lots of them, you think, what in the world?
Did you ever see a doctor smoking while you were like when you were a little kid, or do you
I do.
remember seeing a doctor smoke?
When I started college, I guess I started college late. About my 20s, I went to get a physical, which the college required for first year students, and the doctor was actually sitting at his desk smoking when I went in to get the physical. But that was the only time I recall.
Kids, I'm 42, but people younger than me would not even believe that they
No,
wouldn't even believe you were telling the truth about that
I know.
now.
Yeah.
So,
Everyone in my dad's family uh, smoked. I don't recall any of the women folk doing that, but all the men did. Grandpa.
mhm.
Uh, Now on the other side of the family, they dipped a whole bunch of snuff, and when Grandma would say, "You boys come give me a kiss before you go to bed," you'd think, "Mommy, Grandma,
Ooh.
but she didn't smoke, But yeah,
Right.
everybody smoked. Every time we'd go somewhere, Dad would be smoking in the car. I'm sure that I might have entered the first grade being addicted to secondhand smoke, like so many
Yeah.
people were. So it's
Yeah.
just one of those crazy things.
Right. Well, times change, and I think it's about time that we start treating the food like tobacco too,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Eating whole food plant based is the cigarette smoking issue or thing of this time that you and I are in now,
Hmm.
compared to what cigarette smoking was. What was it? They had to produce over 6,000 reports saying it's toxic, it's bad for you, it's going to kill you, and all of that stuff before society began to say, oh, okay, I get it.
Took a long time.
Yeah, we're just really bright people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you get there when you get there, I guess.
Yeah, you do.
Hopefully, we won't take as long on food as we did on tobacco. But
I hope so.
so we're just kind of having a natural conversation here. But I did have a few questions just kind of written down that I wanted to ask you.
Okay.
I have a page on Facebook. Well, first of all, you have a page on Facebook, or a blog, or a website.
Well, of course, I've got my Facebook page, Ray Martin, and then I've got Old Man Skin and Bones on Facebook also, which is my website, which is a blog that I've neglected the last several weeks, the holidays and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, Old Man Skin and Bones.
So Old Man Skin and Bones. So go check out his page on Facebook.
You bet.
My page is called Transform Your Life with Superior Nutrition. And I'm also going to try to put this video up on YouTube. This will be my first YouTube video.
Good deal.
So, yeah, so we'll see if we can get the technology here to work and everything, and we'll see what happens. But
Yeah, we'll link it to everything.
yeah, try because I want to get your story out to even more. I mean, I have a few, followers on my page, and I think we can kind of join forces and just kind of keep getting this message out, because there's a lot of people out there that could really benefit,
Yeah.
from what you're saying, and you're still alive and you made it,
Yeah.
and thankfully, and now what were you telling me when we talked? You were saying something about being 100 years old.
I've been invited to be a part of a running club. Go figure. I've never run in my life uh, until 2 years and 2 months after my surgery. Uh, they wanted me to be on the treadmill, walking something, not just getting over the heart attack and going back to everything I did normal. I did for a few weeks. I got on a little stationary bike that one of my friends had given me. Excellent machine.
Mm-hmm.
My wife's treadmill, she had just about worn it out. We went and got another one, and I was only on it for a few weeks, and then I quit. And so for basically 2 years and 2 months after my surgery, I didn't do anything. But then all of a sudden, I began to think, you know what? I began to see people on Facebook who had come from adversities more tremendous than mine, and that were still suffering with issues that were really, really astonishing. And they were doing things that I had never dreamed of. So I started trying to work a little on the treadmill, got to where I was jogging or running. I think I was getting up consistently between 5 and 8 miles on the treadmill. And people were saying, "How do you do that?" And I said, "Well, it's fun. I enjoy it." And then one day my wife said, "Hey, there's going to be a 5K just in a little town south of here this coming Saturday." So I went while I was at work. I paid my money via my phone, and that Saturday I was in my first 5 kilometer run, and been running ever since. But what was your question?
And what year was that you did the first 5K?
That was last year.
Last year.
March
Okay,
22nd.
people. So triple bypass to whole food plant-based to 5K.
Yeah, in about 2 years, and I guess the 5K occurred about 2 years and 4 months, and of course that's when my son, who told me about John McDougall and beans and rice and potatoes, bought me for my birthday at the end of February last year, 2018, a Fitbit watch, an iconic Fitbit. So I ran my first 5K with that watch. Got to be a member of a running club, kind of online on Facebook. And at the end of the year, the recording thing for runs and swimming and events like that called Strava, Strava, which gave me my year-end video, which I had started at the very end of actually the 26th day of February, an account with them, and it said I had run or something. I had it down as about 418 miles, but Strava said I ran almost 880 something. That's last year, starting in March. So yeah, it's pretty exciting. I'm going for 2019 miles this year.
Wow. So anything's possible
after triple bypass.
After triple bypass.
My highlight last year, Andy, was an event that happened just outside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. And I was there with a lot of the guys in the run club. And the event called Children of the Cane, CANE. It was a 100-mile relay that my youngest son and I participated in with 4 other fellows, a 6-man running team from the run club. And we divided it up, and everybody took 2 different legs throughout the day and ran 100 miles. But because of the torrential rain that they had, they had to change the course, and you literally were running through the cane fields in the tracks of mud up to your knees sometimes that the big harvesting equipment had left and was still running while we were on the event. And my last leg occurred about 2 o'clock in the morning. It started atop the levee of the Mississippi River with Port Allen, Louisiana on one side and the Mississippi River on the other side. And I took the baton, as it were, from my youngest son, who had did his 8 miles, and I finished up with the 6.5 miles. And I was next to the last runner in that 100-mile relay. And I've never been the same. I'm not afraid to run anywhere now, except in this cold wind. Today, it's a little bit.
Right. Yeah, so now you told me before we got started recording, you were on the treadmill today.
Yeah. Don't tell anybody, Andy. Okay. Treadmill.
Well, sorry, I let that slip.
No, it's okay. Yeah. It's been exciting. I had never done anything athletic since 1972. My last football game in high school. I guess I played a little flag football in college, but yeah, boy, you're looking at an old converted couch potato here now. But
that's fantastic. Are you still with me?